You're listening to Myers-Briggs Question Corner with Edythe Richards.
Today's question comes from a former client of mine I'll call Ben. What are some strategies for introverts to connect with people at a party or social event where a potential love connection can be made? So, I absolutely love this question. I've answered versions of this in other podcasts, but this specifically has to do with relationships, and it's specific in terms of striking up a conversation in the midst of a group of people. Social events, networking, and parties, especially filled with a bunch of strangers, aren't favorite hangouts for introverted types. Yet, we all know that love connections aren't going to happen if you only stay in your cave. Before I go any further, I'm going to clarify what introversion and extraversion are. There are two ways of getting and using energy: extraversion, or E, and introversion, or I. People who prefer extraversion focus on the outside world to get energy through interacting with people and doing things. People who prefer introversion focus on the inner world to get energy through reflecting on information, ideas, experiences, or concepts. It's important to note that we all use both introversion and extraversion in our daily lives, but there's one that comes much more easily and naturally for us. In this case, I'm going to assume that Ben has a preference for introversion. Many introverted types find parties and social gatherings stressful, especially if they don't know most of the people there. So meeting new people at these types of events may present their own challenges for introverted types. I've come up with 5 strategies that can help introverted types best navigate these challenges. First is fairly simple. Just be prepared. In order to do that, you need intel. Try to figure out ahead of time what type of social event this will be: a large party in someone's basement, a dinner party, or a small type of gathering. What types of people will be there? Will it be a lot of strangers or friends of friends? Is there a theme? Is it someone's birthday? Depending on the event and the people there, you can think about topics to talk about ahead of time. So have some potential icebreakers or conversation starters ready. Knowing as much as you can ahead of time can alleviate a lot of potential stressors and awkwardness. Second, if this is an option, I'd say try to relax with a drink. This can make you feel less anxious, but on the flip side, drinking too much can cause its own problems too. But if it's appropriate and you're comfortable doing so, this may calm you down in what you perceive to be a tense situation. Third, find a task to do or offer to help the host or hostess. This little trick is a good idea for anyone who feels socially awkward or out of place. And even as an extroverted type, I've used it myself. Plus, the host or hostess will probably really appreciate someone taking out the trash or making sure the hors d'oeuvres plates are full. Fourth, seek out a friendly extrovert or even someone who's alone and looks awkward. Whether they're extroverted or introverted, they'll probably really appreciate you coming up to them and making the first move, so to speak. This person could end up being a love interest, but you could also make a really good friend this way too. A couple of years ago, I was at this networking event and I felt really awkward and was kind of just standing around. Then this girl came up to me and complimented me on my shoes, and we ended up having a really cool conversation, and she became a friend. So you never know what could happen if you just take a small initiative. Now, it's important not to force things though, whether you're an extrovert or introvert. Some people just aren't smooth. If you're overly nervous or tongue-tied and force a conversation with a stranger, there's a pretty high probability that it won't go well. And you know what? If it works, it works. If not, move on. There will always be other people to talk to. My 5th and final tip is my favorite one. Smile. Yes, I'm speaking from my own extroverted perspective here, but really, who doesn't appreciate a smile? It puts people at ease, it boosts your own confidence, plus I think it's something many people, whether they're introverted or extroverted, forget to do, and truly, it can make all the difference. So, to recap, My 5 tips for introverted types to connect with people at a social event or where a potential love connection can be made. First, prepare yourself ahead of time to both interact with others and find out what type of event it will be, how many people will be there, who those people are, etc. Second, have some alcohol if you can, and if you believe it will calm your nerves and not cause any harm. Third, find a task to do and or offer to help the host or hostess. Fourth, seek out someone who looks friendly and strike up a conversation. Fifth, and most importantly, don't forget to smile. Ben, thank you for the question. Social events and parties are only as awkward as you make them to be, and a lot of awkwardness, regardless of Myers-Briggs type, comes from overthinking. Believe it or not, most people out there feel awkward or nervous when meeting new people. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that everyone's judging you. There's no right or wrong way to socialize at an event or party. Whether you're an introverted type or an extroverted type, I hope these tips will help you at your next social gathering.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you'd like to hear more, or you'd like to submit a question yourself, then you can find us at www.atopcareer.com. Until next time. MBTI and Myers-Briggs are registered trademarks of the MBTI Trust.